Now, President William Ruto has responded to concerns raised by some Kenyans over the cost of travel to the United States last week. In a post shared on his personal social media pages, the president defended his choice of transport to the United States, claiming it was cheaper than Kenya Airways. The president was on a 4-day state visit to the U.S., where he was given a state reception by President Joe Biden. Take a listen.
Several hours after jetting back into the country, President William Ruto put out the following message on one of his social media accounts. The president's message reads, and I quote, "Fellow Kenyans, I have noted concerns on my mode of transport to the USA. As a responsible steward of public resources and in keeping with my determination for us to live within our means and that I should lead from the front in so doing, the cost was less than traveling on KQ." End of quote. The president was making reference to the outcry by Kenyans since his U.S. visit started early last week. Firstly, Kenyans criticized the head of state for choosing to hire a private jet that would fly him over 12,000 kilometers away from the Kenyan capital. The cost of hiring the jet for his 4-day state visit was reported to be a sum of 200 million shillings, an amount Kenyans said would have been far much less had he opted to travel by Kenya Airways and hire a private jet just within the US. Kenyans had also expressed anger at the huge entourage that accompanied the head of state. But while responding to Kenyans today using his X account, the president neither denied the use of such a huge amount of taxpayers' money nor the colossal entourage. Kenyans took to social media once again to criticize the president's remarks, saying as the head of state, he should have led by example by marketing the country's national airline. Others, however, said the president's choice for what they termed a cheaper option was the right decision. The Azimio Brigade, led by Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, now wants the president to make public the amount of taxpayers' money spent on the 4-day state visit in the U.S.
President Ruto is saying because he's a people's servant and he wants to express, kind of live transparently, it would be very good if that can be published, how much it costs to fly Kenya Airways, because a regular flight from Nairobi to New York.
Azimio argues that the president was taxing Kenyans heavily, instituting stringent measures on limiting expenditure on services that would otherwise help Kenyans in service delivery, only to use the public funds for an expensive trip to the US.
You pay 200 million shillings to fly out, and you scrap school feeding program. Unatoa chakula kwa watoto hawa ambao hawana hata wazazi wengine ni wasigo parents, na unatumia zile pesa kupanda ndege. We need this voice of the voiceless.
It has been reported that the estimated $1.5 million cost covered the luxurious trip for over 30 delegates. The delegation landed in Atlanta, Georgia on Monday. Government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura defended the mode of travel, highlighting gains from the visit, including investments totaling 1 trillion shillings.
Raisi ameenda kama mzee wa hii kijiji ya Kenya kutafuta, alafu unauliza fare ni pesa ngapi, na akirudi atarudi na zaidi ya hiyo fare mara milioni. Hiyo si ni wale ambao hawapendi Kenya.
Multiple reports estimate that the cost of hiring a Boeing business jet like the one President Ruto used in his visit to the US oscillates around $18,000 per hour, which is roughly 2.3 million shillings per hour.
Take exit 87, State Route.
A journey to Atlanta, US, where the president first made a stop, is approximately 19 hours from Kenya, meaning it would cost more than 71 million shillings with that rate. The US Embassy has said that it did not foot President Ruto's bills traveling to and fro the US. Analysts, however, argue that by hiring a private aeroplane, the head of state wanted to look the part, as this was his first state visit to America.
You also want to go on that first historic state visit looking the part. That Boeing 737 is a beautiful view. It's a beautiful plane. It carries your status.
Nimro Tabu, Citizen TV.